Hello, my name is David Gary, and today the policy I'll be covering is to make the tax system more progressive. I'll be looking at what the tax progressive system is and what's the current issue, what can be done to improve it, the economic costs and benefits, the impacts on growth, U.S. competitiveness, and ethical consideration. A progressive tax system is one in which the tax rate increases as the income increases. In the United States, this is done using a tax bracket in which income is divided into ranges, with each range taxed at a higher rate than the one below. This is depicted in the graph below. Like I mentioned, the United States uses a progressive tax system. This policy was enacted in 1862 to fund the Civil War. There are many proposed methods to increase this policy. Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are two who propose this. Looking at the graph to the left, we can see the gray shaded area increasing from left to right. This is the before tax income, thus income inequality. Looking at the US Gini coefficient at 0.49, this is twice the amount of what a healthy economy should have. What can be done to fix this? We can decrease the tax amount to the middle and lower class or increase the tax amount to the top income groups. So looking at the costs and benefits, it's important to keep in mind these are a few examples, but it's important to weigh them both out and pull our decision from here. Starting with cost, we'll look at tax bracket, which is inflation can push taxpayers into a higher tax bracket with real income increase in income after adjusting for inflation. There is more money nominally, but practically it's the same. So governments end up taking more income even though more money wasn't made. The US, this could also be used in a corrupt manner by politicians. Those with more money have more power. The power they use can benefit their personal agendas. Special interest groups writing tax laws that only favor these groups. Brain drain. Individuals with high earning potential leave to avoid high taxes. This results in a loss of revenue, loss in potential future entrepreneurs, a shortage of impact skilled workers, and loss of innovative ideas. It also discourages business from investing, expanding because of the additional taxes. It discourages work, saving, and innovation as well. So there is less taxpayer disposable income to put into the economy, and thus businesses have a reduced ability to produce jobs. It is also argued that the progressive tax system is unconstitutional. First, under the 13th Amendment, income tax is imposed involuntary servitude. Under the 14th, they argue that Americans are citizens of the states instead of the US, so the government has no power to tax citizens. And under the 16th and 17th Amendment, they essentially conclude that they were both ratified incorrectly. Looking at the benefits of the progressive tax system, shifting the burden to those who have the ability to pay, the rich typically can afford the basic necessities and then some, so this has a small impact on their ability to spend. This increases the tax support to the lower income earners. Lower income brackets will be able to become more self-supporting. Those with greater influence in society pay more, since those with more money have more influence, they'll be able to pay for the benefits that they receive. Preventing political and social instability by limiting the gap between classes. By keeping money in the hands of those with less of it, it helps the economy stay stable, thus resulting in a growing economy. The system also protects during hard times, since when income is reduced, the amount of taxes is reduced because it is based on a percentage of the income made. And finally, governments can get the most revenue from progressive tax system. Since the tax system is based on a percentage of income, the rich will yield more revenue for the government based on a higher rate and taxable income. Looking at the impact on economic growth, Bernie Sanders would drop the tax of the middle class families and increase the progressive system for the top percent by 15%. Joe Biden, on the other hand, would only raise it by 2.6%. There are many methods nations use to reduce income inequality, seen in Sweden, how they have higher tax rates, and Japan, with smaller pay gaps to begin with. Some solutions would be to promote more directors from within the companies, stop tax avoidance and tax havens, and like I suggest, make taxation more progressive. The United States income inequality is twice the amount when compared to other countries. Making the tax system more progressive will lower the US from 8.5 to a more desirable number, thus being more appealing to all. Looking at the ethical considerations, in a study, white households' income was over 11 times greater than the income of black households. At the same time, the richest Asians' households were 168 times more wealthy than the poorest Asians. This was all within a 30-year gap. Making the tax system more progressive and cutting tax for the poor would fix this gap. According to the same study, through public policy, the black wealth would increase $11,488 per household, which would lower the wealth gap by 11%. Thank you so much for listening, and here are my works cited.